Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome back or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zielinski and I work in the spirit dimensions. I'm talking a bit today about our life review. What happens when we die? As always, please take what resonates and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. I will never claim to hold all the answers. I'll never claim to know it all. I do have a little bit of personal experience on this topic. I have died twice myself, and there is a video uploaded here on the channel with a little bit more on that story. I also have talked a lot to dead people about the life review, and I've also talked to quite a few people who have had very similar experiences with death themselves, near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, or dying. Now, when it comes to our life review, the first thing I want to say it is not painful and it is not meant as a punishment. There's a lot of fear on this topic on the life review. And I understand, the fear of the unknown, but our life review is meant to help our soul grow. And it's also meant to give us a chance to reflect and see the good parts of our journey, the lives that we affected, and the lives that we may have changed. We do come into this physical world with choice and free will, as well as a journey that we're here to learn from. And in our life review, we sit down with our spirit council and source energy. And for me, I watched my life as a movie on both occasions. So I've had two life reviews, and believe it or not, even though they were only about 5 years apart, they were a little bit different because there was 5 years of living that I had made decisions and choices. When we sit in our life review, for me, it was like watching a movie. Parts of the movie were in fast forward and other parts slowed down. And the parts that slowed down, I was able to feel and see the impact of my learning. The things that I did really well, the things that I didn't do so well, the things that hurt, the things that were loving, the aha moments of the journey. And it was done with spirit and with counsel in a very supporting and loving space. Very supporting and loving. It was done to teach. It was done for my soul to grow and to evolve. Now, I have channeled many souls during my sessions who show up in readings, and the first thing that the sitters or the living person will say is, I don't want to talk to that person. They were horrible to me. And the spirit will say, I know that now. I've sat in my life review and I got to feel and I got to see, and I've been up here healing and working on my soul, working on my stuff, and I'm sorry. And quite often it's not always received, and that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes that they do come through as part of their healing, as part of their soul's growth. When we make decisions here in the physical world that have hurt other people, or when our journey has been really tough and it has impacted other people, we do have to experience that when we cross. We do go through that in our life review, and we do get kind of, I don't want to say, kind of like put in classrooms, if you will. Put in classrooms to learn and to heal and to feel. And quite often, the closure for that soul, sometimes it doesn't complete itself until the living people that were affected by their behavior or their actions cross over and the healing is done all as a group. And sometimes it's like that. Sometimes things happen that are horrific in this physical world, and the healing doesn't occur until everybody that was involved has crossed over as well. It's really hard being human and not judging other people's journey. It is really hard when we are at the end of somebody else's maliciousness, somebody else's poor choices. It's really hard to navigate through that. And I totally get that. I have had to work through forgiveness and letting go like many, many, many of you have. And for me, when it comes to my own healing and my own surrendering, I give it to source because I do know that at the end of the day, in that person's life review, they're the ones that are going to have to face it. And yes, we are impacted. This isn't about not being impacted by other people's stuff. It's just meant to give you a little bit of knowledge on the things that we do in the physical world. We have to sit and reflect and review and work on when we cross into the spirit dimensions. And yes, karma and the next lifetime can play into that. We can have to come back into the physical world, with some karma to navigate through that again. 100%. It's not all about, okay, I made a mistake, I go over to the spirit dimensions and now I'm okay. We do often have to come back and try again and try again. Now, one question that comes up quite a bit with people is, what happens to people when they leave this physical world by taking their own life? And that is a really good question and a real sensitive one. And I can only share with you what Spirit has shared with me. Part of our journey that we sign up for, some of us sign up for a journey that is really, really hard. It's like we sign up for a journey. It's like, I'll take it. And we're given that journey. And sometimes we're not prepared for that journey. And some people decide that they need to go back for their soul to get stronger so that they can try again. The other side to that is, for some of us, for some souls, it was part of their journey. And that's really hard to understand. And I myself struggle with understanding that. But they do cross over into the spirit dimensions with every other soul that crosses. They do return back to source energy and go through their life reviews and go through their healing. And they are embraced by the loving light. Our life reviews, I sit and reflect on the 2 life reviews that I've had thousands of times. I sit and reflect on it. I have learned so much about my journey through that experience. I've also learned the impact of my choice and my free will that has in the physical world. The things that I choose to do, I have a full understanding that I am going to have a sit down and have a look at those choices when I return to the spirit dimensions. The other thing that comes up quite frequently on this topic is when people have done horrible things in the physical world, what happens to them when they go to the spirit dimensions? I get asked that a lot. And, again, I don't claim to hold all the answers, but what Spirit has shown me is they do cross over, have their life review, and their soul goes on to learn and to heal and to work through the choices that they made in the physical world. I do hope this video gives you a little bit more insight, something to think about, perhaps some growth, maybe some comments or questions. There's so much unknown and there is so much known and there's so much in between. And I can only share with you what Spirit shares with me and my experiences within the spirit dimension. One of the things that came up in my life review, I'll share a little bit of what came up in my life review. In my life reviews, what came up was living from my authentic self. There was in both my reviews, I felt shame for who I am and what I do, and I had to work through some of that, both in my life review and when I returned into the physical world. And interestingly enough, I was shown that in a past lifetime, I had to work on the same thing. So I did carry some of that from a past life into this lifetime to work through, to learn how to put that down, to work through not being ashamed and living from who I am. It was an interesting theme that I seen in both my life reviews and from another lifetime. And when it comes to past lifetimes, we do have to bring some of the lessons back with us. It's the journey of the soul. It's the adventure of our learning. It's what we're here to do. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. I am wishing you so much love, light, blessings, and as always, a spirit-guided day.